What is up, guys? FallenRedZeo here, back doing another Marvel Legends review. This time we've got the Kingpin wave, so the Spider-Man wave that has the Build-A-Figure of Kingpin. So we got all sorts of different Spider-Man universe characters here. So first off here, we've got Black Cat and Puma, which is kind of a new character I've never seen. Then we've got the newest version of Symbiote Spider-Man and Night Thrasher. And then we've got Silver Sable and the Red Goblin. And as you can see with the piece and stuff, we got all of Kingpin's pieces, body parts in there and everything. So we got those. And then also included in the set, which doesn't have a Build-A-Figure piece, we also have the 6-armed Spider-Man, which looks kind of weird and funny and everything. So we'll look at all these figures. So let's go ahead and get into them. Well, of course, we'll build Kingpin at the wave. So let's get into it. So first up here, we've got Black Cat, which of course is Felicia Hardy, and she's pretty much the Catwoman of the Spider-Man universe. That's pretty much exactly what she's modeled off. I mean, I don't know who came first, of her or Catwoman, but they're pretty much just, you know, I would say rip-off characters of each other. So they have a lot of the same stuff. You know, they're both based off cats, and then they do some of like the pretty much same like sort of stuff. So with Felicia Hardy, she is a burglar, of course, just like Catwoman. They steal, you know, diamonds and everything. She's a martial artist and a gymnast, so again, very similar to Catwoman and all that sort of stuff. And I did take notes on these characters stuff, so I will be reading that off to you guys as we go through and stuff. But for the figure itself, I think it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of basic and plain. So obviously with like Catwoman, we have the mask, you know, similar to this, and then the hood with the cat ears usually. But I like how she has the all solid white hair to contrast her solid black suit. And then of course I like the cat eyes on her there and everything. And then of course she has a whip for like the tail and everything, and I like the fur, which we'll look at here. So of course for the figure we'll look at, of course, articulation. So let's see, so we've got head movements there, so her head can twist side to side, which she does have some, you know, sort of issues with her hair, and then the fur that's around her neck. And then she also does have a little cat head right there, it looks like, for her arms. So her arms can pretty much rotate all the way around, and so bend really far up and down and stuff. No bicep twist or anything. A single elbow joint right there. And then of course her wrists can spin around and do some flexing. And then it also does have some fur right here, like a fur gauntlet or something, or fur right there on her wrist. And then she has them on her ankles as well, as we'll see. But I like the addition of the fur there. Again, we've got the cat eyes there on her chest, or the design to look like cat eyes. And then it's just solid black leather suit, so nothing too special about it. She does have her whip here wrapped around her like a belt. Then again, it's got this part that looks kind of like a cat tail or something wrapped around her. So we've got that. It does have the ab crunch though, so there's the ab crunch again right below her chest. Has a little tiny bit rotation, but not too much. And then of course can flex, not like too much, but it does have the flexion going on there. Then no waist twist or anything, but we do have the hips here, or the hips, so the legs come out that far and go that far back, which is kind of because the way the butt design, it doesn't allow it to move back very far. And then out to the side, you know, pretty much that far. So not a whole lot of movement in the leg joint there. Does have the thigh twist though, of course, for opposing legs and stuff. The double knee joint, which is real skinny there for the female characters, of course. So we got that. And then of course again back into the fur there on her boots. So I like the whole fur design stuff. And then of course the foot that does bend back and forth, and then does have twisting side to side and everything, which she was a character that was kind of hard for me to get to stand up and everything, just because her feet don't seem to move very well. And then she also does have, of course, black gloves with cat-like fingers on them as well, which you can kind of see some of like the claws and stuff. So again, very similar to Catwoman and everything. And then there's a look at the back, again, just all black outfit and everything. For accessories, she does come with different stuff. So she does have a version of her bullwhip here that you can actually like take and stick into her hand, and so then she can be, you know, like whipping and everything. It'd be cool if you could take the one off of her waist when doing this though, but I don't think you can unless you kind of take some of her body apart and everything. But she's got the bullwhip and some of her other stuff. So of course she's got the claws on her hands weapon wise, and then with her eyes, which you can kind of see there. I don't know if this character really shows it, but you can kind of see her like green eyes there. So she has special contacts in, which allow her to see in like electromagnetic fields and stuff in different colors and everything, to help, of course, with burglary and all that sort of sneaking around kind of thing. So it gives her kind of like cat vision and everything. So yeah, that's kind of a fun thing. The only other thing she really comes with is, of course, the piece for Kingpin, or Wilson Fisk. So we've got his arm here, so we got his right hand there, and then of course his cane. So this is good. Stick it in there like that. So we got that part of Kingpin, and that's going to be it for Black Cat. Next up is Puma, which is Thomas Fireheart, which again, this figure is like a really obscure character, at least obviously that's what I've been told, because I've never heard or seen it before, and then by people actually know comics say he's really obscure. So But I really like this figure. I don't know why. I just really like the look and design of it. It reminds me, of course, a lot of like Sabretooth or something. But I just really like this like figure design for some reason. So far, this is like one that's really drawing my attention into it, which is really cool. So as I mentioned, Thomas Fireheart, he's a Native American. He's I guess what they call a mountain lion werecat. So he's, you know, human and then turns into this werecat and everything. And then as himself, the Thomas Fireheart, he is a businessman and owns his own company and everything. He's the CEO of, I think, Fireheart Industries or something along those lines. But yeah, he has his own company and everything. And so he's a guy that I believe was started out like as a villain or something, but then kind of turned good. I think that's his old origin stuff. But this just looks so cool. And again, the whole werecat design. So he's got like, you know, all the like cat features and stuff. Looks really cool. And I like that. So let's look at his face. So there's his face. And again, I think they did a really good job on this design. It really, you know, brings out the cat look in him. So he's got, of course, the cat nose, the teeth, you know, look exactly like a cat or a lion or something. He's got the green eyes in there, which look cool. Of course, the scar across his face looks really awesome. Then he's got the bushy eyebrows and hair and everything, and of course the like sideburn parts there in the orangish color hair, which again looks very cool, and I like that design a lot. Then he's got the feather in the back of his head, or sticking in the back of his hair or whatever, which of course is part of this old Native American stuff. He's got a necklace here made of what looks to be a bunch of teeth and everything. Then he's got the design. I don't know what exactly, you know, what it's supposed to look like, but of course he's like a dark red here on the front, then the orangish yellow on the sides with the fur design, which I like how they did that, which you can see like on the shoulders and arms. It does look like it's like a fur design and everything. You can see little spots of hair sticking up farther. They'd be kind of like scars and stuff. And then of course they're like on his arms, he's got the little fringe, like her hair fringes like sticking off his arms, which again look really cool. And again, we've got the other on this band here sticking off on that side. He does have a belt on, and then of course the feet down here. We've got the fur again coming off of the feet, and then he's got what look to be like cat-like feet and everything. So for movement, since he is a guy, we'll look at that. So of course the head can twist all the way around. No limitations really on his, which again looks, if you pose it, looks, you know, like a werewolf type transformation movement there. For arms, of course, completely rotate around. Can bend pretty much that far up and then down and everything. So it has movements, but not some sort of limitations going up like that. It does have the bicep twist, the double elbow joint there, which of course may be a little bit obstructed. I guess no, that's pretty much it all the way for there. The wrist can of course rotate and flex and everything, which looks cool with the claws and all that. It does have a waist twist, which is hidden right below the belt there, and then of course the ab crunch, which is really stiff on him, so you can hear it pop in there. Then we got the legs, so again, a lot more movement there, so again pretty much 90 degrees out, and then not much farther back, because again the way they design the butts and everything. Out to the side is, you know, just pretty much a little bit, not too much there that way. Then we do have the thigh rotation there, the double knee joint, and then the foot, which can of course move side to side and flex back and forth. And that's, yeah, I didn't know if maybe up in here there was a joint, but it doesn't feel like there is or anything. So yeah, just this character design, I really like it all. I think it looks cool. And again, I like the whole designs with the feathers on it and everything, you know, to symbolize this old Native American heritage and everything. I just think this looks super cool. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with any weapons. I think this would have been cool to have a spear with him or something, but it doesn't come with anything, unfortunately, so we're kind of out of luck on that. But for some of his powers I want to point out, so he's got, of course, superhuman, you know, strength, speed, stamina, reflexes, and intelligent. He's got acute senses, of course, because he's a cat, so he's going to have the, you know, be able to see far and smell and hear and all that sort of stuff. And then his only real weapons he has are his claws, which again are in his hands, which you can kind of see there, claws, and then of course his fangs in his mouth and everything. That's really all the weapons he uses and stuff, nothing beyond that. So that looks cool. And then for accessories, the only thing that it comes with is Kingpin parts, and so we got the big giant body of Kingpin, which made his box super huge and heavy. But that's really, you can see the size comparisons there. So that's really cool as well. So that's going to be it for Puma. Next up is the Symbiote Spider-Man, which is just the new version of the Symbiote Spider-Man. So I think it was earlier this year or possibly last year, I don't know. Sometimes the Amazing Spider-Man comics did the whole run, like there were these guys that did a run of the Symbiote Spider-Man, so taking back to Spider-Man when he had the symbiote suit on before, of course, it got transferred over to Eddie Brock to become Venom and everything, so he has the Venom symbiote on him and everything. So this is just a reimagining, redesigning. So for, of course, it's still Peter Parker, and for powers and everything, it's just the exact same stuff as Spider-Man, and then the symbiote version of that as well. So nothing new or going on with this figure. Just the basic body design is the only thing that's new, which we'll look at. So as you can see, he's in of course a solid black suit, which is a part of the whole Symbiote Spider-Man thing. Then has the white spider emblem, which of course, because he's Spider-Man, he has a spider, and then once the Venom joins in with the white, it gives it the spider look. So that's why if you saw like the Venom movie and stuff, where he didn't come in, the Venom symbiote didn't come in contact with Spider-Man, he didn't have the white spider on his chest or anything as usual, because he didn't come in contact with Spider-Man or anything. But we see his white eyes here, which I like and I don't like at the same time, especially for the figure, but I think it looks kind of cool. So it's get these giant white eyes, which you know are very reminiscent of Venom since he has the giant white eyes, but they're sticking off the side of his head. So if you can kind of see there, you can see the back so sticking off on each side, which unfortunately for the figure, it looks like this one has been bent a little bit, since it's just, you know, kind of a rubbery type piece of plastic, so it can bend and everything. So this side got a little bit bent. So unfortunately it's got, you know, a line and stuff down it now, but it's not too bad. But other than that, it's just a solid black face and everything. There's nothing for the suit. There's nothing really beyond that besides the eyes. And then of course we have the new design of the white spider there. So of course it looks bigger and more menacing and everything. The spider design, of course the head, I think the thorax or something like that. And then of course all 8 legs coming off of the side, which wraps around it to connect with the one on the back as well. Then of course he has the white hands or markings. They're usually white squares, but this time they turn them into diamonds on his hands and stuff, so I like that as well. And then he also has claws in his hands, so again bringing in more Venom style into this. So then he's got the claws like Venom does, and then down on his feet he has these sharp pointy toes and stuff just like Venom as well. But beyond that, it's just a Spider-Man. For movement, since we've seen, you know, figures, we won't go into too much, but he does have the extra butterfly joint thrown in there, so the arms do have more range of movement in the, like, moving back and everything. I don't know if it's stuck or they're just not moved too well though. The rotation though doesn't move very well though, like to move the arms up and everything. I think it's just kind of stuck in there with the joint, so you just have to kind of pop it loose. But it does have the way the butterfly joint is designed, it kind of doesn't allow rotation very much, but he can get in there and, as you can see, rotate all the way around. Then it does have the butterfly joint as well, so it can, you know, give you pretty good range on the movement, which I like that they throw that into Spider-Man, so you can get him in more poses a little bit better with his arms and everything with the butterfly joint there. Besides that, everything else is the same for the figure, nothing too different with that we'll look at or anything, which is, you know, okay, I guess, and stuff. It's just, you know, just a plain Spider-Man figure, just in a different outfit or costume. For accessories, the only thing he comes with is hands, so he's got another claw hand, so you can have 2 claw hands or another fist. You can have 2 fist hands, so you can choose either one, whichever you would prefer better with that. And then he also comes with the head for Kingpin, so we got 2 faces there, so we've just got like a normal face, so just see whatever, you know, just a calm face, whatever, and then a mean, angry face where he's yelling and stuff, which I like the inside, the design of the mouth part there and stuff. It looks kind of funny to me. But there we got 2 Kingpin heads there. And so, obviously, as I mentioned, it's Peter Parker, and then all his suits is just the same as the normal Symbiote Spider-Man, so nothing new or special powers going on there. So that's going to be it for the Symbiote Spider-Man. Next up is Night Thrasher, which again is another obscure character that I've never heard of or seen before, but I think overall looks pretty cool. I mean, his suit's kind of plain and basic, but I like the overall look of the black and the red. I think it looks cool. So this is Dwayne Taylor. That's the character's real name, but of course goes by Night Thrasher. And so some of his like skills and ability and stuff, he's an acrobat, martial artist, and a computer hacker. So that's, you know, kind of what gives into him stuff. So obviously he is like another burglar and everything like that. So nothing too special beyond that, no superpowers and stuff. So we'll look at, so here he's got a mask, and so part of his suit is that he's got this advanced body armor that's been designed, and it's bulletproof, he can't be stabbed in, it's fireproof, all sorts of cool stuff with that. So that's what his whole suit is, and I like this design, which I'll point out here in a second. So there's a look at his helmet, so you can see his face under there, so you can see his face and his, you know, part of his face and his eyes and stuff. He's got this helmet on with, again, the red that I like, the contrast of the like pretty much all black suit, and then the red, it helps stand out, it looks really cool and everything. So it's got, you know, some sort of mask design going on there. Then he's got his body armor, which, as you can see, it's shiny and stuff, so you can see the lights reflecting on it. So again, it's this like segmented looking body armor. He's got these big giant shoulder pieces, he's got elbow pads and everything, all sorts of pieces of armor on him, and it looks really cool. I like that design, again, the shininess. And then you can contrast that which you can't see very well, because once it gets below the belt, it's then like from the knees like this segment in here, it's just the normal Marvel Legends paint, black paint, so it's not shiny, it's just a flat color. So it's weird to be like, you know, the all shiny upper body and then the, like, you know, flat looking color and then shiny on the knee, from the knees down, because it's got the similar body armor, of course, with the padded knee, and then again armored legs and then armored boots and stuff. That you can see the design, the studded design around it. And then of course also he has this belt on, so it looks like a championship belt, very similar to Puma. I think it's the exact same belt, just repainted different color and everything, but it looks like a WWE title belt or something, but it's all red. Then he has this red ribbon hanging off of his leg there. Reminds me of like Electro though, or something like that. But overall the figure just looks really cool. For movements, it's going to be pretty much similar to Puma, it just has some limitations here on the shoulder because of this little lip right up there, so you can't really bend farther than that because of the armor suit, which in armor, you know, you do have limitations, so it's obviously not going to let you move as much, but everything else should be exactly the same, of course the head and everything. But then if we turn around and look at the back, he does have this backpack piece on which will hold his weapon, so we'll get into his accessories. So first thing he comes with is a skateboard, which is a real cheap, you know, just piece of plastic with wheels on it, so nothing too fancy about this skateboard or anything. You can see the design there of it, it's all scratched up, and of course everything on the bottom. But this is a special high-tech skateboard that he has, and then you can take it and slide it into the back. Of course this bend of the skateboard makes it a little bit difficult, but you can just push it down in like that. So he got his skateboard there on his back. And then he also comes with what he calls his battle staves, which are just two like Emmerich sticks or something that like Daredevil has, but you can just take them apart. They're just two black sticks. They got kind of bent up in the box though, unfortunately, so you can stick them together as usual with these things or take them apart, and then they do slide into his backpack here as well on the sides. So I like that he's got this whole like holster thing so he can hold his skateboard and his battle staves there on his back like that. I think that looks pretty cool. And for accessories, that's all he really comes with. The only piece is part of Kingpin, so we got the left leg here of Kingpin and everything's big giant fat leg for that. And so that's gonna be it for Night Thrasher. Next up is Silver Sable, which is Silver Sablovia. I can't say her, Sablinova. I can't really figure out how to say her last name or anything. But this figure looks kind of cool, but there's issues with it. Just the normal Marvel Legends sort of stuff going on here. So as you see, she's in pretty much an all silver suit, which, you know, fits in with her name and everything, which again, I think it looks cool, but the actual figure itself I have issues with. So we'll start with her head there. So there is a look at her head, and of course she's got silver eyebrows, bright blue eyes. I thought she would have like silver lipstick or something, but they didn't give it to her. But she does have a silver band around her head there, like a headband, and then of course her all white hair, which I like the detail they put into it with adding the color like into the joints and stuff to make it look like, you know, it is like a dyed hair and stuff. And I just think that looks really cool. I like that design and stuff they did on her hair, which of course is, you know, really nice flowing hair and stuff. And then we've got her body, of course, which is in the all silver suit, which of course I have some information that's a synthetic fiber suit with Kevlar in it, so of course it makes her, you know, kind of like bulletproof and stuff like that as well. And then for Silver Saber herself, she's also a martial artist, a marksman, swordsman, and a gymnast, so she has, you know, a lot of those sort of abilities and stuff, pretty similar to a lot of the other characters. But then on her suit, she does have these shoulder holsters here, as you can see, that goes around to her back there, and I like the design. That's, I guess what you would say is like a sword. Yeah, it does come into a point, so it's kind of like a sword handle, or just could be just some other design into it with the different color silver. So we have like a pearlescent silver here on top, and then just a normal flat silver there on the along her chest and stuff, and then she has the bands on the arm of it as well. She's got some silver gloves on, a silver belt, some silver thigh holsters or pockets there, and then just this pearl silver down at the bottom here. You can kind of see the transition there from like the flat silver, and it's like different colors, 3 different silvers here. So we have like the very pearl silver there, and then just a metallic silver, and then a flat, like I don't know how to describe the different silvers, but she's got different sorts of silvers on, which all fit for Silver Sable, of course. And so I mentioned all the stuff she has, and then she also, for her weapons, so besides her suit and everything with, again, the Kevlar in it, as you can see it's stuff, her body armor and everything. She also usually uses katanas and different sorts of guns, stun guns and everything, which we will see here in a second. For movements, though, she, you know, all the same movements as the female, so as Black Cat and everything. So her head, of course, limited by some of her hair. The arms, everything, yes, looks exactly the same. No new joints or anything to look at. But this is the stuff here that I hate about this figure and the Marvel Legends. Are these stupid bands. Like, they just need to glue them on or something, or find a way to get them attached, because they just constantly fall down like that, and it's so annoying. And then the belt is also loose. I want it to be, you know, just like glued on or something right there in the center and stuff. It's just super annoying, and it's hard to get a, like, you know, when you stand them up and everything, then they fall down and you have to try and readjust it and everything. It's just kind of annoying. For accessory though, she does come with guns, so she's got a little handgun here and then a bigger like rifle style gun or something there as well. Again, very futuristic looking style guns, not normal looking, so kind of fits with her whole thing. And then she also comes with a piece of Kingpin, so his left hand there as well for him. And that's gonna pretty much be it for Silver Sable. There's not much more to really go into on her. Like, I don't really know much more than that about her or anything, but that's gonna be it for Silver Sable. And next up is Red Goblin, which is kind of weird and cool, and something I've never heard of before. But this is Green Goblin, so Norman Osborn as Green Goblin with the Carnage symbiote on him, so that turns him into Red Goblin, which again, it looks really cool but weird at the same time. It's just a very weird looking character. But let's go ahead and look at it. So there is a look at his face, so that's one weird looking part of it. So it does kind of, you know, still have the pointed head and ears part of the Goblin or Green Goblin, whatever. It's got the weird pointy nose, the weird chin and stuff, but it's mixture with Carnage, so it has the Carnage eyes, so the big of course yellow eyes, and then the Carnage style white and black eyes there, and then the Carnage style mouth, but into the mouth of Goblin and everything. So it looks really weird and cool at the same. Like, I just don't know how to feel. It looks cool, but then when you look up real close like this and see how weird it looks kind of dorky and weird at the same time, but it just looks overall really cool for the face there. And then so he's got the all red body, which kind of is more like Carnage stuff. It's hard to tell, you know, what would be the Green Goblin style design out of his body and stuff, but it just, you know, looks cool and Carnagey and everything. But then it's got this giant tail on the back too, which I didn't know. I don't think Green Goblin has, except for maybe like the newer versions or something. And then Carnage doesn't have a tail either, so it's weird that's got this tail, and it's not like flexible or bending. Like, you can bend it obviously, so it is that, but it's not like you can't really position it. It's not got whatever where you can, like a wire or whatever that you can like bend it into different positions. Kind of just way it is, which unfortunately kind of interferes with this getting it to stand, because it, you know, you can bend it, but then it'll push back down, and you kind of sometimes knock the figure over and everything. But he also does, of course, have all the Carnage tendrils on it, so you can see the tendrils coming off of his forearm there. This piece on his back, which I did push in, it's just an attachment that you stick into his back and everything, again, coming off the elbow of that arm, and then down on his legs here, so on his shins, you got more tendrils coming off of it as well. So again, I like the whole red and black design, so you got the black, of course, there on the chest and the front, down the center of him, and then down on his feet, and then red everywhere else, and of course the hands also and stuff, which have they do have some little claws. They're not like very pronounced or anything like the Venom ones and stuff, but he does have some sort of little claws, and then does have some Venom feet there, the pointy toes and everything as well, coming off it. So there's a look at the back as well. And again, movements are going to be all the same as just the normal Marvel Legends figures. No new joints or anything to really look at on here, so the arm obviously can move and everything. Usually the arms are the only part that they really change on it, but other than that, it does look really cool and everything, and it stands and all sorts of stuff. So for it, so obviously, like I said, it's Norman Osborn with the Carnage symbiote in him and stuff. And so with the whole combination, he's got the super strength, regeneration, of course, from Carnage, shape-shifting, Spider-Man sense immunity, so the Spider-Man senses, you know, the whole Spidey sense can't sense him coming, so that's kind of a cool thing. And then with the mixture of Green Goblin into him, he's also immune to sonic like blasts and stuff, and fire, which are two of Carnage's weaknesses. So I like that with the mixture of Goblin, it makes him like this super symbiote stuff, which is really cool that it's got that. For accessories, he does come with one of the little pumpkins, but it's a Carnaged pumpkin, so it's got the big Carnage eyes there, and it's red and black and everything, so you can kind of take that and I guess kind of stick it in his hand a little. I don't think it holds it too well. I tried to do this when I took it out, but it didn't really stick it too well. Yeah, it just keeps popping out. But it's got the little pumpkin there, which I like that addition into it. And the other thing is the right leg of Kingpin, so we've got that leg as well, which I think is all the pieces of him now. And so that's going to be it for Red Goblin. And the last figure here is the 6-armed Spider-Man. So this one doesn't kind of fit in with the set because he doesn't come with any Kingpin set. So if you don't like this figure, you don't have to get this to be able to build Kingpin or anything. But this is just Peter Parker, normal Spider-Man. Obviously he's got the additional arms and everything, but this is from the 6-Armed Saga. There was a series in the comics, and I know they did it in the TV show in the 90s and everything as well. But Peter's tired of, you know, being Spider-Man, so he tries to come up with this chemical concoction or serum, whatever, to be able to get rid of his Spider-Man abilities. But he takes it, and then he wakes up and has 2 more arms attached to him, and I think eventually does fully turn into a spider after this. And so of course his chemical stuff didn't turn out very well or anything, so it's just Spider-Man, so all the exact same stuff as Spider-Man. But I can tell you the actual Spider-Man part, I love this. It's just like so classic looking Spider-Man. The red and blue suit is just designed, is just very classic looking in the colors and everything. But I do like the way they designed it though, which you can kind of see in here. It does have all the like little like segments and stuff, so it does look like more modern Spider-Man style suits and everything, you know, especially from like the MCU movies and everything. So I do like that that is added into there for design. Have a little bit of red issue, but of course we got the red spider on the back and the black spider design there on the front and everything. And then again, it's just a classic Spider-Man design, so don't really need to look too much into it. But of course he does have the additional arms, so it will limit his movement. So obviously his top arm can still, you know, move pretty much the same. Obviously have some issues going down and stuff because of the additional arms. No ab crunch or anything as well, because they had to put these arms in, so they couldn't add the crunch in, I guess. So that's kind of unfortunate, but then we do have the additional arms there, so we can obviously pose them. It's the exact same joints. Obviously they can't move too far because of the other arms around them and everything, but you can obviously pose all these different arms all around and everything, which I think is kind of cool. It reminds me of course, Goro from the Mortal Kombat games and stuff. That arm's kind of stuck, so I may have some issues getting that arm rotated around and everything. But yeah, it's just additional things for the 6-armed Spider-Man. Like I said, not the best figure, especially since they took out some poses and everything, unfortunately, but I think it looks kind of cool with the additional arms. It does look more like a spider, so he does have the total 8 limbs and stuff, so he truly now is a Spider-Man and everything. So that's, I think, going to be it for the 6-armed Spider-Man. So that leads up to the Kingpin build figure now, so I'll get him all put together and we'll check it out. And here we go, Kingpin is all put together, and again, this is super cool. I like when they have build figure characters that are just huge and ginormous and really big mass and stuff. It just makes it feel worth buying, you know, a whole set to do the Build-A-Figures and everything. I really think this is cool. So we've got Kingpin here, or Wilson Fisk as he is also known, and he's just, I put his angry looking at him because he's just a big angry man. So part of his skills and ability and stuff, he's a master combatant. He's got super strength, durability, and of course he's a criminal mastermind, as Spider-Man always has to deal with him and everything. So again, it looks really cool. So we got his big giant bald head, so he's a big, you know, fat guy, as you can obviously see. So he's got his big bald head there. Again, I put the angry face on. He's got a black shirt on underneath with a purple tie, which again, I like to hold purple onto it, then an all white suit. So he's got the vest on, of course, with these probably solid gold buttons on it, and then of course the white overcoat, and then white pants as well with the pleats and everything. You can see he's got the yellow pocket square, and then you can see some of the black shirt coming out from underneath the coat and everything. He's got a ring on his finger there, so a big nice probably ruby ring there, and then of course some black leather shoes, which I like the detailed design they put into it. You can see it does look like probably like a snake skin or something in there. I like that whole design. For movements, obviously you can move his head around so it can bend back and forth. Obviously he's got a big fat neck and everything, so he can't move too much around, but he's got that. Then of course the shoulders and stuff can rotate all the way around and do move a little bit, not too much of course because of the big giant joints obviously. Then he's got the single arm joint or elbow joint there. Again, it can rotate all the way around and does have a little bit of bending into it, but again, it's because of the suit and stuff, it can't bend too far. Then his hands can obviously twist all the way around and flex. Everything's normal there. Looks like there is an ab crunch, but it's, I think because of his mass you kind of can't get it to crunch, but he does rotate at least, so you can do that as well. And you can see kind of his bigger belly there. Then he doesn't have any waist twist, obviously just because of that part up there, but his thighs do, so he's got, you know, a little bit of movement there out to the side and everything. Does have the thigh rotation there. You can line up the pleat on the single knee joint there, which again very similar to the elbow up top, so not a whole lot of range movement. Then of course the foot can move just very little, but it does have some movement going into it just because of the pants design and stuff. And then for accessories comes with different stuff. So again, we saw his cane, which of course is a cane with a laser gun. I think usually it shoots out the bottom of it or somewhere onto it. And then it does have the diamond here, which is hollow, that usually contains a sleeping gas or something, so you can use on Spider-Man or Daredevil, whoever he's going to fight with and everything. And then usually a suit here, especially underneath, is a Kevlar body armor. So again, he's kind of bulletproof as well there. So he's just a bit ready to fight because, you know, that's what he gets into. And we saw his other head there with, again, just the normal looking head. But then also from the Xavier set in the wheelchair that we did a couple weeks ago, we also have the Shadow King head, which you can then put on this body, which then kind of makes it look like the Shadow King, which is of course a villain from the like X-Men universe that's, you know, fights against Xavier and stuff, an old ancient monster guy. So you can put that on his head as well to make it, because it has a very similar body to this, just this head as well, with the teeth and the glasses and of course the like Shriner looking hat and stuff. So you can switch that out, which the head of course does look real small compared to the normal Fisk head and stuff. And then I know like people like to take the hands off and put like Venom hands on as well to fit in more with the Shadow King, because that's kind of hands he's got. But overall, this is pretty dang cool, and I love this set. It's cool to get this big giant Kingpin finally, and I just think it looks awesome and amazing. It was very much worth the set and everything just for this Kingpin alone, I think. So that's going to be it for this set of the Marvel Legends, of course, with the Kingpin Build-A-Figure here. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what your favorite character out of the set was. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Marvel Legends videos or any action figure videos at all. Go ahead and do that for me. But I want to thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.